On behalf of the Hodges faculty and staff, this is a milestone event for us. This is our 20th year of honoring humanitarians who have had a profound impact on the quality of life of the Collier County community. This is my 14th year of participating on behalf of Hodges University in this wonderful event, and I'm very privileged to say that of the 19 through 2015 and now into 2016, I have personally known 19 of the 20 recipients. The only one that I didn't have the pleasure of meeting was Frandy Pugh Hayes. Extraordinary group of people who individually have had an enormous impact on the quality of life of our community, and as an aggregate, their contributions have been immeasurable. Now my pleasure to introduce our underwriters and sponsors of the event. And we wouldn't be an event without Baird Private Wealth Management. Robert W. Baird and Company has been our presenting sponsor and presenter of the Humanitarian Award for many years. Mike Prioletti and all you folks at Baird, thank you so much for your continuous support. Our founders, Circle benefactors, and underwriters, CenturyLink, been with us for a long, long time. Danny Pate, I know you're here with your group. Thank you so much for your great support. And our dear friends at Stock Development, Claudine, I know you're here as well. Again, continuous support for not only this event, for many events for over a long period of time. Our wonderful friends at Naples Daily News, I know you're here in Forest. Thank you so much. We have two publishers of Naples Daily News that are also have been humanitarian recipients. Bob Simpson with LISAR, wonderful community supporter, and Bob, thank you so much with your group. And our friends of the university, Reg and Sandra Buxton, through Life in Maples magazine and countless other contributions to the university. Thank you, Reg and Sandra. John and Joanne Fisher are not with us, but John and Joanne have always sponsored a veterans table. Christine Manson, I think you're here with a group of veterans. God bless you. Take care. FGCU Foundation and Moorings Park Foundation, and our magazine sponsor for this event for many years, Gulf Shore Business. On your table, I just have two brief comments. On your table, there are cards, and I just wanted everyone to know, and this has been a tradition with this event, that all of the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds from our underwriters and supporters goes to the Alan Corris Friends of the University Scholarship Fund. And I also want to make you aware of a big event that we have coming up. It's our annual gala on April 8th at Grande Country Club. The theme this year is the color of blues, and I promise a fantastic time. Bob Simpson is going to be, and his wife Linda will be the gala sponsors. And again, we have Danny Pate with CenturyLink going to be the tournament sponsors. Promise a wonderful weekend of gala, great dinners, auction, and golf the next day. And that's all I have to say. I want to thank you, and it's been a personal pleasure to be here, and it is now my distinct honor to introduce our 2015 Humanitarian of the Award recipient, Alan Horton.
You know, it is the 20th time this award's been given, and I think most people think that this one honor is the top, if not one of the top, honors that can be bestowed in this community. The more important thing is that this award is a symbol not only of Hodges University's relentless focus on community, but also of its far more crucial and broader community building in Collier County and throughout Southwest Florida. As you know, Hodges students are more likely than not to be adult learners, determined to earn degrees to better their prospects, better support their families, and to better serve their employers and their community. Let me introduce you to 3 sterling examples of the thousands of Hodges-educated model employees and citizens. I don't believe they have a clue that I'm about to embarrass them. So please stand if I call your name and remain standing as I brag about you. Leticia Letty Munoz. Anybody standing? There she is. Okay, good. Julio Perales. And Ileana Soti. Did you know I was going to do this? Okay, good. Letty last fall earned her Hodges bachelor's degree with honors in business administration. She is an agency inventory analyst for Arthrex. Julio is in his final year at Hodges, the Hodges Fisher School of Technology. Now listen to this. He's about to earn his Bachelor of Science degree in cybersecurity and computer forensics. In 2014, he earned an associate's degree in computer information technology. He is a 7-year veteran of Arthrex's IT department, having moved from IT Tech 1 to the desktop support leadership team. Ileana is a biomedical sciences student at Hodges and an Arthrex administrative assistant in the Orthobiologics and Vet Systems product group. Let's give all 3 of them and their employer the appreciation they deserve. They are among thousands of Higher graduates and students in our community who are making our community a better place. Thank you all very much. Now, what about the Hodges faculty? I have personally had the privilege of working with several Hodges professors on community initiatives. Let me single out one in particular, the Dean of the Johnson School of Business, Dr. Asagul Timur. Please stand, Asagul. I know you're here. There she is. She and her faculty colleagues have been invaluable to the Greater Naples Chamber of Commerce, the county government, and the Opportunity Naples Public-Private Partnership for Economic Development. Just last week, I learned that the so-called Gray Oaks case study, written by Asagul, a former student Dana Folker, Dr. Catherine Dew, and Gray Oaks General Manager Jim Butler, has been published in the prestigious International Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Administration. It's online, so you can read it and learn how the Gray Oaks planning model is now seen as transformational in its industry. Thank you, Asagul, and all of your colleagues for serving your students and the community so well. Now, I don't want to give short shrift to the 20th Humanitarian of the Year, Alan Corrist, my buddy. But I also don't want to steal the thunder of my former colleague Corbin Wyatt for after lunch. But you will learn all about Alan after lunch. He was one of the first people I met when I was named editor of the Naples Daily News 29 years ago. He was and is a newspaper editor's dream reader. He devours multiple newspapers daily, and at almost 87 still has the energy, curiosity, passion, and enthusiasm he had in 1987 when I first met him. After his exemplary military service in Korea during the war there, he returned to Michigan, started what became a successful company, and after 25 years of building it, he sold the company to his employees so they would have job security. Then he and his late wife, Marilyn, in 1983 moved to Naples. That was just the beginning. Stay tuned until after lunch. If you have read Plato's Republic, you will recall his 4 cardinal virtues: prudence, justice, temperance, and courage. I defy anyone to find a better personification of those virtues than Alan. Prudence gives him the wisdom to judge which possible option is best. He always does. His sense of justice blesses him with a perfect sense of what is fair. I wish I'd listened to him more often. Temperance allows him to have the flawless self-control that he exhibits all the time. And his courage gives him the ability to confront fear, uncertainty, and intimidation, not only with confidence, but with a smile. Now, finally, I want to say a few words about the man who has served as Hodges' interim president for the past 16 months. He did not act like an interim. After serious reductions in force due to the aftermath of the Great Recession, he faced Hodges' problems head-on, restored morale, and corralled the entire faculty to build a plan to arrest declining enrollment and better serve students in the community. And he managed by walking around, opening closed doors, and asking questions. He literally shut down the university for a whole day so everyone on the Hodges team could be involved in the planning process. Meanwhile, he became a prominent and valued presence in the community at large. So now let me introduce that interim president, Dr. David Borofsky.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate those kind words. Well, welcome to the 20th annual Humanitarian event. We are really excited to see all of you here, and I will get right to a bunch of introductions that I want to do, not the least of which, where is she? Oh, there she is. So I always get the pleasure of starting with our namesake, a woman who was my date all weekend. She turned me down for Sunday at the opera, but got a chance to spend Friday and Saturday night with her. Thelma Hodges. Thelma? I usually say more, but the last time I did, I got in trouble, so I cut it short this time. I'd like our board members to stand when I call your name, and if you would hold their applause until I'm done, that would be great. Mike Prioletti, Bob Simpson, Sandy Stillwell, Joe Donahue, Gary Tripp, Les King, Jillian Cummings-Beck, Kathleen Pasadomo. Thank you to the board for their commitment and service to Hodges University. And I'm pretty sure I didn't forget anybody, but if I did, I didn't. Okay. I'd like to introduce our past humanitarians and also ask them to stand and be recognized as well. And again, if you would hold your applause. Alan Horton, Corbin Wyant, Dolph and Sharon Von Arx, Dudley Goodlett, Jerry Nichols, John R. Wood, and Wanda, you should stand with him too since you make him move. Sure, absolutely. Judy Sproul, Katie Sproul, Michael Watkins and Ellen Getz, Nancy Lascheid, Terry and Christine Flynn, Myra Janko Daniels, and a woman that I consider my equal girlfriend along with Thelma, Laverne Gaynor. Thank you. So Alan had some nice things to say about me, and I do appreciate them. But the truth is, nobody does this by themselves. You can't run an organization without a senior leadership team, and a good one at that. And there are a lot of senior leaders here, and I would like to ask my cabinet, the senior leaders of Hodges University, to please stand, all of you at once, if you would, please. And if you don't, I will call you out. Wait, I didn't say you could sit down. Stand back up. I would like all the employees from Hodges University to please stand. Thank you. So the following people need to stand so I can say a couple of nice things. April May, Allie Wolf, Dodie Sullivan, and Tim Hall. This is the group that, Tim, thank you. Nice try, Tim. and Phil Memley. This is the group that put this event together. It did not just happen. Thank you very much. Just two more, I promise. A few comments, and then a couple other things that we'll do just before we start feeding you lunch. Or maybe we're starting to feed you now. That's a good thing. So there is a gentleman in the room that I have gotten to know extremely well, a person that I consider a friend, a mentor, someone I've spent quite a bit of time with. If this were a different kind of event, I'd say all kinds of things about him because he does say all kinds of things about me. And we do that a lot together. We've been on panels together, and we are both educational leaders in Southwest Florida, and it's a privilege and it's been an honor to know him. And he's somebody that I will plan to stay in touch with, and I would like to ask Dr. Wilson Brad Bradshaw to please stand and be recognized. And now, the person who is running around with a camera, and he's going to be mad at me for this, but Tony, would you come up here, please? I know you don't want to, but humor me. Thank you. Karen, do you have your iPhone? Because he can't take a picture of himself. And if you don't, I have one. No, up on stage, Tony. So for the past year plus, thank you, Karen, this gentleman who's retired, he's a retired photographer, has graced our events and taken pictures of all of you at least once, some of you many, many times. Now, Tony's not looking for work, so don't take this the wrong way, but Tony doesn't charge us. Tony does this out of the love for Hodges University, and he does it because of the relationship that he first created with Karen Griebing, our Chief Marketing Officer, and then I can honestly say a little bit with me. And I'm really pleased today to give him just a very small token. I know he doesn't want it. I'll get in trouble later. This is absolutely worth it. Tony, thank you for everything you've done for Hodges University. Thank you, Tony. So I would like to tell you how much I appreciate what each of you do and have done and will continue to do to make sure that Hodges University is successful. This university is a remarkable asset in Southwest Florida, and it has been for 26 years. Our adult student population so appreciates the education that they have received. That reminds me, if you're an alumnus of Hodges University, would you please stand up? All of you? Thank you. Our university is able to have an impact on our students and our communities because of the work our faculty and staff do to support both time and resources, everything that you all give and what the faculty and the staff give to all of our students. I'm reminded how fortunate we are to be surrounded by wonderful people such as all of you, people who give of themselves and could give of themselves to other causes and do, but yet you are loyal, open, honest, and wonderful supporters of this university. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you, and I know that you will continue to be ardent supporters of this university. As you know, much of what we do here is with adult students. They are the students we attract and the ones that we help be successful to reach their educational goals. And we're very good at that. In 26 years, we have awarded more than 9,400 degrees to 7,500 people, and more than half of them live within 100 miles of the university. Today marks a very special day in the history of Hodges University. It has been my pleasure to serve you for the last 16 months. I came here in December of 2014 as your interim, and I found a university and a staff and a faculty and a community full of courage and passion and loyalty and dedication to this university and to our students. And nothing in the last 16 months has changed that opinion. of how you serve Hodges. I am proud of the work we have done in the last few months, and I'm confident that we have created a foundation for the future. And that future will be led by the new permanent president of Hodges University. Please join me in welcoming and introducing to you for the first time Hodges University President, Dr. Donald Wortham.
As someone new to the community, I am truly amazed at the array of committed individuals here today, not the least of whom is our honoree. I hope you will indulge me for just a moment as I ask you to consider with me what it means to be a humanitarian. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the primary usage of humanitarian is to be concerned with or to seek to promote human welfare. Fairly simple, at least at this level of generality, to promote human welfare. Another authority, Aristotle, Alan Horton got us started with Plato, goes further. To promote the well-being of the polis, the city, and its inhabitants is quite simply the highest form of action that any of us can take. Aristotle named this effort toward the welfare of the people the greatest good, the greatest good. Alan and all of the 19 preceding humanitarians, thank you so much for devoting your time, talent, and treasure to that greatest good, and for doing so within our community. Thank you all. I look forward to serving this university and this community.
Thank you, Don. Enjoy your lunch. We'll be back very soon to get the rest of the program underway. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would love to be here all afternoon, and it would be fun, but that would get us in trouble. So at this time, I don't often get a chance to introduce board members, just because of the way these events work, but this particular board member has been very supportive over the last 16 months to me, very concerned about this university. I served as a board member for a significant amount of time, chairs our Human Resources Committee, is either the secretary or the treasurer, depending on what we need, and is also our presenting sponsor from R.W. Baird. Please join me in welcoming Mike Prioletti.
Good afternoon. I had to check my watch to see if it was indeed afternoon, and it is. Well, it's my pleasure to add my welcome to all of you today as we honor one of the most impressive, dedicated, and committed stewards of our community. In short order, Baird Private Wealth Management will present the 20th Annual Hodges University Humanitarian of the Year Award to Alan Corris. If you know Alan, then you know that this award is well-deserved because he's someone who's truly made a difference in our community. If you don't already know him, you are, over the next 45 minutes or so, about to understand why he's so deserving of this recognition. Baird Private Wealth Management is proud to once again be presenting the award. We consider ourselves lucky to have been so closely involved with this award. More importantly, its amazing recipients since its inception. And we've been a presenting sponsor to this event dating back to 2007. Baird's been serving the Naples community now for 29 years, and our brilliant, caring Naples associates take pride in providing excellent wealth management advice to the families we serve. We also take pride in supporting and leading many of the area's civic and charitable organizations. The fact that we were just last week named to the Fortune 100's Best Companies to Work For list, now for the 13th consecutive year in a row. We ranked number 6, by the way, very proud of that. And that's another indication of our commitment to our clients, our associates, and the communities and neighborhoods in which we live and work. But there are dozens of other accomplishments that I'd be happy to brag to you about. I don't have time to do it. If you see me after, I'll talk your ear off. But if you don't know Baird and how we're making a difference in the lives of the families we serve, you should get to know us too. You'll be glad you did. You know, I have the unique pleasure of being part of both of these organizations, as David mentioned. I represent Baird as the Naples area manager, and I also have the honor of representing Hodges University as a longtime member of the Board of Trustees. So I also congratulate Hodges on the celebration of the 20th anniversary of this event and its over 25 years of serving the Naples and Fort Myers communities. Like Baird, Hodges has been maintaining a culture of integrity and a commitment to serving its Southwest Florida constituency for more than a quarter of a century, with a dedication to delivering quality and value. It's easy to group Hodges University with any number of other colleges who've recently come to this area from somewhere else. Believe me, the culture and commitment to the adult student at Hodges University is vastly different. And if you don't know Hodges University and what makes it different, you should get to know them too. You will be impressed. And all of that brings me back full circle to today's humanitarian honoree, Alan Korest. I've been using the terms commitment, integrity, and making a difference. As you hear Alan's story today, I have a feeling you're going to hear those terms used frequently. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations, Alan, our 2016 honoree. And if you will, in a moment, turn your attentions to the 2 large screens to see a video. Before we push play on that video, on the other hand, I do want to thank 2 past humanitarians, Peter Thomas, who couldn't be with us, for his role on the video, and especially Corbin Wyant, who is with us today, for his role on the video. It wouldn't be the same without them. Thank you all for being here.
The Hodges University Humanitarian of the Year Award is presented by Baird Private Wealth Management. Since 1997, Hodges University has recognized individuals who demonstrate a strong and lasting commitment to public service in our community. These individuals are honored with the title of Hodges University Humanitarian of the Year. These honorees enrich the community in a variety of ways, but each is a pioneer in his or her own right, forging ahead to create a better tomorrow.
Plato said musical training is a more potent instrument than any other because rhythm and harmony find their way into the inward places of the soul. No one understands this connection better than Alan Korest, whose ongoing commitment to improving the Collier County community through education and music is only one example of his service, dedication, and charity throughout the years. Alan Korest personifies the spirit of generosity in everything he does, and his dedication, especially to the causes of education, will endure in the lives of young people in our community for generations.
He's one of those unique individuals that really feels that he, wants to share what he has, and that the more people he can touch and the more lives he can impact, the happier he is.
If there's a problem to solve, bring Alan in. Alan does it with dignity, thoughtfulness, and a belly laugh. You can never be around Alan without laughing some.
As an only child, Alan Corris grew up in Detroit during the Depression.
I had a newspaper route when I was a kid in Detroit, and there was a horrible, horrible storm. And the papers were dumped off at our house, and I had to get them ready. And the snow was coming down, it was cold, and I had to go deliver these things. I couldn't do it on my bicycle, I had to walk. And so I went to my father, and I said, Dad, you know, it's really awful out. Could you consider maybe driving me on my paper route? And he said, well, you know, I agree, it's pretty lousy out there, but he said, let me ask you a question. Whose paper route is this? Well, it's mine. Well, that's my point. If it were my paper route, I'd be out there delivering the papers. I wouldn't be asking somebody else to do my job. So I did it. I just always remembered that. I thought it was really interesting how my father handled that.
The first in his family to attend college, Alan earned a bachelor's degree in business from Northwestern University.
My father came from Lithuania when he was 10 years old, didn't speak a bit of English. None of my family had ever been to college or university. So I really didn't know what to do in a university. I didn't have that kind of guidance. I just knew I wanted to have it. And I figured when I got there, I'd figure it out.
Some of those who helped Alan figure it out were the World War II veterans who were attending Northwestern.
I was so impressed with the maturity of these guys, and I was just out of high school and, you know, from Detroit, and these guys were light years ahead of me in terms of their understanding of the world, their ability to understand that they really had to work hard to take full advantage of this opportunity. So they taught me a lot. But the whole thing was that education, not necessarily just higher education, but education in all forms is the most single important part of our lives.
After receiving his college degree, Alan enlisted in the United States Navy and completed the officer candidate program. Choosing to go into intelligence, Alan was assigned to a squadron of seaplanes doing air reconnaissance missions over the South China Sea during the Korean War.
We would occasionally get congressional delegations there, and since nobody else wanted to talk to these guys, I was usually elected to make the presentation of what we were doing. The only visitors I really remember vividly was Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio when they came to visit our base. And that was an extra special treat for all of us. And I got to sit at the table with Marilyn Monroe and Joe for dinner at the Officers Club. And I thought that was pretty cool.
In 1958, Alan created his own company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He served as its chief executive officer for nearly 25 years before selling the company. In 1983, Alan and his late wife Marilyn moved to Naples.
I thought, here's a new beginning. I've been in business. I had done some not-for-profit work in Grand Rapids. I wanted to do some things that would be more beneficial to the community than just what I was doing.
Alan indeed did do some things, serving as a planning advisory board member, councilman, and vice mayor for the city of Naples.
I learned so much from my time in politics and how it's so important for good people to become involved. Good people coming together can accomplish virtually everything.
Something else Alan learned about when coming to Naples was philanthropy. He oversaw the creation of the Bauer Chapel at Moorings Park, which was donated to the community by his late father-in-law, Ed Bauer. Housing the world-class Fenner Douglas organ, the chapel serves as a center of spirituality, music, and camaraderie, and was recently enhanced by the addition of the adjacent Allen and Marilyn Chorist Plaza.
And my father-in-law, Ed Bauer, he was the most generous person I have ever met. And I learned more from him about philanthropy and how important it was. Not necessarily because it was an important cause, but because of what it did for you. And so that is what has driven what little philanthropy we've done, is to have the enjoyment and the learning and the participation in what that gift has meant to others.
Being able to see the impact of their gift was one of the reasons the chorists in 2006 founded the Bauer School of Music, named in honor of the late Mr. Bauer at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Well, one thing you learn quickly about Alan is his passion about education. His passion particularly about music education and the role that music plays in helping all kinds of children to express themselves and to become all that they're capable of being.
Passionate about using music to help children learn, Alan helped start and continues to support Music Scores, a pre-K program that uses violin training and has proved highly effective in increasing kindergarten readiness.
We've been very fortunate to have had him involved with our program. It's that outside-the-box thinking where he envisioned not just providing music for these young children, but really linking it to an experience with college students who also then benefit from working with children.
One of my favorites is the Champions for Learning, what they've done with the Take Stock in Children to provide kids from very tough backgrounds an opportunity to have at least 2 years of post-secondary school. That's a huge thing in this community, and it's transformed hundreds of lives.
He is just that leader in our community that when he tells someone that you're doing a good job and encourages 2 or 3 of us to get working on the same initiatives, we're all happy to do it. So.
Alan has served as chairman of the board of Moorings Park Incorporated, board member of the Florida Gulf Coast University Foundation, co-founder and president of the Forum Club, member of the Collier County Tourist Development Council, Big Cypress Basin, and the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and director of the Education Foundation, Champions for Learning, and more.
Alan, I think, is the best kind of humanitarian because he cares so much about people. You look at the success that he's had over his life, and he wants other people to experience the same kind of growth that he has. And so he's very passionate about all things that relate to education.
I think it's important that you listen, not be the first one to offer a solution, but to listen to what other people say. I think if you approach it in a conciliatory and a collaborative way, and you have some humor with it. You got to laugh a little bit about life and how funny it is and what we're all doing here anyway. We might as well try to figure out what we can do to make it better.
Alan, I'm proud of you because you know that secret. To give is to get, and you have achieved that.
Humanitarian means different things to different people. To me, it means it's a person who has worked to make other people's lives better. And you can do that in many ways. You can do it with your time, you can do it with your talent, or you can do it with your treasure. And frankly, Alan Chorist, you don't touch one, you don't touch two, but you touch all 3 of those boxes.
For his outstanding dedication to the community, for his significant contributions of leadership and service, and for demonstrating the degree to which one person can improve and enrich the lives of so many, Robert W. Baird and Company proudly presents the Hodges University 2016 Humanitarian of the Year Award to Alan Korest.
Let me just say one thing about Alan Korest. Please have a seat. I've had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with him, and somebody once said that humility is power. I'm standing next to a very, very powerful individual. Alan Korest, thank you so much for everything you've done. This is just a small token of our appreciation. Mike has the humanitarian pin that we give to all of our humanitarians. And we are so blessed and so honored that you are here with us today in celebration of this, your gift. Thank you.
You'll be disappointed to know that I don't have a speech for you today. I was going to write one, and David reminded me again that it was not necessary. I am deeply touched by all of you being here. I'm not as, I usually try to say something funny, but after all of those wonderful things that were said, it's just so overwhelming that you could say all those nice things about me. I didn't know that half of those things ever happened, but apparently they did. And Myra and I have had our differences from time to time, but hearing all those sweet things from Myra's mouth was unbelievable, as I told her. And President Bradshaw didn't even comment about our trip to New York, where I dragged him or he dragged me to listen to the fantastic wind orchestra of the Bowers School of Music play at Carnegie Hall. And that was just an outstanding. Now, there are some who would argue that FGCU is much better known for its accomplishments on the basketball court. But after the issues that occurred at North Carolina this week, I think we should concentrate more on Carnegie Hall. I thank Hodges University and David. I wish their new president the best of luck. I wish Phil Memley and his staff I can't thank them enough for the outstanding job they did. And I thank all of the 19 people who were honored with this. I'm so sorry Peter couldn't be here, but I was amazed to hear his strong voice still on the video. I thank my children. My two of my children are here. My oldest son, Rick, and my daughter, Jane, are here. And my lovely Dolly, who I adore so much, who is my very special person. So, I think that's about all the damage I can do, and I think it's about time that we had another word and perhaps an adjournment, but thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure seeing so many of my friends here, and I'm gone so much now that it's nice to know that a few people remember who I am and will come out to see if I still am standing up straight. So thanks again. And one last thing that I really wanted to say after what Father Basden said, and we all read about this horrible, horrible thing in Brussels. It's so easy, and this is a little serious, it's so easy for us to be cynical when we read of these tragedies that take place. And it seems like more and more they're happening, the frequency is much greater. It's so easy for us to be cynical. But we have to remember that there are millions of children growing up in a world. And I see Hodges and all the hope it brings to young people. So I must remain optimistic that the world is going to sort itself out, that there is a great future for all the children, and while there are bumps in the road, the future is still bright for all of us. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. And just before we leave, if you could all sit down, we've just got to do one more thing. So I've got 1 minute. We said 1 o'clock. It just turned 1 o'clock. So the reason that we all do what we do, the reason that Alan and the 19 humanitarians before him and so many of you in this room work with the 4,000 nonprofits that are in this county, for us in education, Dr. Bradshaw, myself, and others, is because of students. And I've said this 100 times, maybe 1,000. If it weren't for students, Brad and I would be fishing or playing golf or doing something else. He'd be fishing, I'd be playing golf. I would like all of our students to please stand up now and be recognized by all of you. Students, please stand up. Thank you all so much for attending. Safe travels. Godspeed. Take care. Bye-bye.